Welcome to Clique Questions, the series where I answer your law-related 21 Pilots questions. Whether you may be a veteran cliquie who still hasn't quite grasped the meaning of vialism, or you're a newer cliquie who still hasn't really understood what blurryface is yet, I'm here to answer all of your questions as simply as possible. This is the first episode of the series, so I'm just going to detail how I hopefully want this to work, because whether this series continues depends on your participation as an audience. In order for this series to continue, I'm going to need a lot of questions. So how this will work is if you have any law-related questions, no matter how silly you think they might be, put them in the comments below, and what I'll do is I will pick out all of the questions and then answer them in the next video. And this pattern will kind of continue until eventually people decide not to comment anymore. So yes, TLDR, these videos will be unscripted, and please post your questions for me to answer in the comments, so I will then be able to answer them. I'll also try putting in video links in this video to other videos from not only myself but other theorist YouTubers as well that may be useful if you want to do more extensive research. So for example, if you ask me a question about what's the meaning of the blue door, I will quickly point you to Stolen Potential's video on the blue door, vice versa. So with that little disclaimer out of the way, let's now move on to the questions. What are the references to the Dema storyline in the live shows? So I'd say very simply, it kind of depends what live show you're looking at, because if you're looking at the Icy Tour, the lore in the Icy Tour is completely different to the lore you see in the Takeover Tour. General songs that tend to have lore in them during live shows that I know are kind of unanimous throughout the Psy era are Message Man, due to the ritual they perform, as well as No Chances and Good Day at the beginning of both Takeover and Icy Tour. These two songs are kind of meant to reference how 21 Pilots are under the control of the bishops, and this concert in itself is an extension of that. They're not performing as banditos, they're performing under the bishop's command, spreading the propaganda of Dema to us as an audience. My belief is that the story through the process of the concert, much like in the official live stream, 21 Pilots kind of break out of Dema's control, briefly, only to fall back in for the next show. It ultimately reflects the storyline that we see in the Scaled and Icy livestream they did when they released the album itself. They performed a concert, but they started going off script, performing songs they shouldn't do, and then it ended with Tyler back in the Good Day Dema news station. Josh had disappeared and the rebellion seemed non-existent. So it's that idea of slightly breaking out of the mold and breaking away from Dema control, and then falling back under Dema control once again towards the end of the concert. Also, explain level of concern. I'm gonna be honest, Level of Concern as a standalone song and music video, in my opinion, doesn't have much lore. It was just kind of created to be a feel-good song during the COVID pandemic. So that in itself doesn't have lore. It's standalone. Don't even consider it as part of the storyline at all. However, the Level of Concern ARG, in my personal opinion, has a lot to do with the Dema lore. I'm going to explain this in my No Chances video coming up, but I heavily believe the Level of Concern ARG kind of exemplifies how Dema uses information in order to control other people and find escapees. My personal belief is that the Level of Concern ARG mimics a television schedule or a TV show that you would likely see in Dema. The television program constantly talks about airing out your frustrations and anxieties by calling a certain phone number, which is very reminiscent to how Dan and Sally in the live stream kept promoting people to buy the Scaled and Icy album in order to feel a lot happier with their life and like there was an escape. So I think that this program is used to either attract people from outside Dema to come to Dema so they can capture them, or find people within Dema who are A, suitable to become a glorified and commit vialism, or B, possibly so that it can give Dema a caring face so that people will struggle less or rebel. Essentially, it has three functions. Bring new people to Dema, prevent rebellion by making Dema seem caring, and also find people who are suitable for vialism. If you're interested in this theory, I'm going to be doing a video on it because the last time I did a video on it was around 2 years ago, and a lot of new information has been brought to light then that I think slightly alters what I said in my initial theory, so I will be making a new video on that soon. Is Clancy Tyler? So this is something that has been hotly debated within the clique because there's been no confirmation and none of us really have any answers. But I'm gonna give my personal speculation and my personal theory, but please do take this with a heavy pinch of salt. I think Tyler is Clancy. Not only do we have Clancy calling the events of the jumpsuit music video an out-of-body experience, which possibly explains why Tyler was acting so lethargic and falling around all the time and didn't know how he got into Trench in the first place, but we also have the soul transfer ritual. It's been confirmed by 21 Pilots that the reason why the bishops consistently keep going after Tyler is because he's special. He's the only living being that can basically fall under the influence of the soul transfer ritual. And what that means is he can be possessed whilst alive. How the soul transfer ritual should work is that the only thing you can possess or transfer your soul into is a vacant vessel, and a vacant vessel is a dead body without a soul. If you have a soul in your body, you cannot be possessed. Simple as. This is why the bishops force people in Dema to commit vialism, because it essentially gives them a free flow of bodies they can then possess to live forever. Tyler has been confirmed to be a special case though. He is the only living being that can be possessed by the soul transfer ritual. It just kind of astrally projects his soul out of his body, but he's still alive at the end of the day. During the jumpsuit music video, Clancy confirms that he had an out-of-body experience. A few letters down the line, Clancy then disappears for a while and goes silent, and it's assumed that then he was possibly killed by the bishops. But then, in a few letters later down, it touches back on the jumpsuit music video letter again and states that it was an out-of-body experience. If this was Tyler pretending to be Clancy, it doesn't make sense that Tyler would know details that only Clancy would know. And Tyler is the only person in Dema that has this special feature that allows him to be possessed while being alive. Not a small group in Dema that have this feature, just Tyler, which is why the bishops are hell-bent on getting him back into Dema to keep an eye on him. Since Clancy shares this characteristic of being able to be possessed by the soul transfer ritual whilst being alive, it's clear that the two are the same. And it can't be that Tyler is pretending to be Clancy in order to keep his legacy going, because Tyler brings up details that happened within the jumpsuit music video that only Clancy would know, within the later letters. What's after this last album in the Dema storyline? This is where we enter heavy speculation territory, because nothing's really been confirmed for what happens after the Dema storyline. But in my opinion, there's possibly 3 routes we could go down. The first option is that we could get some form of spin-off series from the Trench Dema storyline. So what could happen is the current storyline of Tyler and his cycle with Dema ends, and we possibly start a new storyline in Trench and Dema that focuses on a brand new character and unique struggles. We may get a bit more world building of the universe of Dema and Trench. After all, Tyler has confirmed he would love to do some form of comic series of Dema and Trench, possibly once the album is done. The second type of album we could get could probably return to just normal 21 Pilots content without a story undertone to it. For example, your Vessel and self-titled and regional at best style albums where it's just normal music with no underlying story. The third option is that they just start a complete brand new story, brand new characters, brand new world, brand new message. Although I think this is the least probable one to happen because this takes quite a lot of time, and I feel like 21 Pilots want to promote that certain stay alive message, and there's only so many ways they can do that. What is the meaning behind the bar logo? Vessel logo is unconfirmed. We've never actually received a confirmed meaning for what that logo means. Blurry face logo is confirmed to represent vialism, as it is used to represent the neon gravestones in the Trench storyline. And as for what the Trench logo means, I'll just put it on screen now because honestly I couldn't say it better myself, and this is from the Banditos themselves. In the IC tour during Message Man, what did the ceremony do? It's a surrender to vialism. We see the little sync podium, whatever you want to call it, in the Nico and the Niners music video during assemblage of the Glorified. And also it's filled with black paint, tar, I didn't even know at this point, and Tyler dips his hands in it, which is very reminiscent of his painted hands in the Blurryface era. It's been confirmed that the painted hands and neck in the Blurryface era are meant to represent insecurities, particularly with the hands, his insecurity of what he creates. So it's the idea that he is submitting to Dema, he is submitting to his insecurities, and he's submitting to vialism. He is submitting to vialism by allowing his insecurities to completely dominate him and take him over. What does trash symbolize? He symbolizes imagination. Also, how far does the Dema lore go back? What music videos and songs are related to the Dema storyline? Self-titled, regional at best, and Vessel are not part of the Trench and Dema storyline. And before you scream at me saying that migraine was used in the Outside and a car, a torch, a death seems to be heavily utilized thematically within the Dema storyline, I'm going to stop you there. Just because the Dema storyline utilizes themes we've seen in previous songs does not mean those songs lyrically have any part to do with the lore. And that is simple as. In terms of literary techniques, we call this an Easter egg. What does Ned symbolize? It has been confirmed that Ned symbolizes creativity. That's all for this episode of Clique Questions. If you have any more questions, please make sure to put them in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.